CHAMPS studio for our final episode of Extra Innings, a semifinal preview coming at ya. I'm Elizabeth here with our baseball analyst, Mark Stroia. I cannot believe this season's coming to a close.
Yeah, we've seen some really good baseball, and the season just always goes so fast.
It does, yeah.
So it's been a great summer. The weather's been pretty good for the most part after we started getting rolling, and yeah, we've seen a lot of good baseball, and looking forward to the finals here.
All right, let's start right off in Division 4. Kalamazoo Hackett taking on Buell City, and then Rudyard taking on Plymouth Christian. Mark, what are your thoughts on this division?
I think the winner of the Buell City Hackett game will take the crown in Division 4. Hackett will give Buell City a run for their money, definitely. They have a player, Nick Verduzco, leading the way. He's an Ashland commit. The kid's an outstanding athlete. I actually had my quarterfinals there at Jackson Lumen Christi, and Hackett was in that. And this kid just leads the team. He's a real fiery kid. He's a great athlete. When he gets on base, it's almost like an automatic triple. So I think he's really going to lead the way for them. Buell City is hungry. They lost last year in the finals to Riverview Richard. They have their longtime coach, Brent Ancliffe, back from last year. So he had been there for a long time. He won championships in 2009 and 2010 and was runner-ups in 2000 and 2014. So my prediction is Buell City's experience. They've been there before. I think that carries them to the title in D4.
Absolutely, and how important is that energy? Bringing that energy into that game. This team has been here before, but anything can happen in the semifinals.
You're right, anything can happen. These are just high school kids. Both teams are going to be hyped up. So it's going to come down to pitching. It's going to come down to who makes the least mistakes. But Buell City, they've been there before. Their coach has been there before. He knows how to win the big games, and I just think they'll come out on top.
Moving on to Division 3, Algonac taking on Lansing Catholic, and Bridgman and Standish Sterling. What does this battle in Division 3 really look like?
Well, I think Algonac beats Lansing CC and goes on to win the title in D3. They're 36-3 this year. They've been ranked basically #1 in D3 all season long. Their coach, Scott Thayer, said they've been playing with the target on their back all year. Everyone's gunning for them, and their kids met the challenge game in and game out. They're just with 3 losses. That's kind of amazing to have only 3 losses in 36, 37 games.
Yeah.
Algonac, I think they're going to come out on top. And they're going to be the D3 champs this year in 2023.
Yeah, do you think that adds a little bit of pressure? I mean, only having 3 losses heading into a really big game.
Well, I think all these teams are going to have a lot of pressure on them. But like I said, being ranked #1 basically all season, there's been pressure week in and week out, and they've responded to the task just like their coach said. So, I think they know how to handle the pressure, and if they play their game, I think they'll be victorious.
Next up in Division 2, Grand Rapids Christian taking on Flint Powers Catholic, and Grosse Pointe University Liggett taking on Forest Hills Eastern. So what are your thoughts on these matchups in Division 2, Mark?
Well, we have Grand Rapids Christian at 33-6. Powers had a good year as well. But Dan Samini, he's such a good coach over at Liggett. They're good year after year. They're always highly ranked. And I think what makes them tough to beat every year is the competition that they play week after week. They go and play non-league games against the best of the best, which really helps them when we get to this time of year. Their last state title was in 2021. They're only team in state history to qualify for 4 consecutive championship games, dating from 2011 to 2014. Just look for Dan Samini and his Liggett team to bring the title home for Division 2 this year.
Yeah, and how important is that experience? They've been there before, they're going back to somewhere they're comfortable with. How important is that?
Well, experience is huge. The coach knows how to win. He knows how to win the big games. He knows what to do. It's not just one night at Michigan State. It's kind of a whole weekend. So you have to know how to, prepare your players and what time to wake up and what time to meet. It's kind of a different atmosphere for some of these teams that are new there. So a team that's been there before, it's definitely an advantage to know the process, and I think they're gonna do well this weekend at Michigan State, definitely.
Absolutely, and like we said before, anything can happen. It's the semifinals, so we're really looking forward to that division.
Absolutely.
This has been a wild ride in Division 1. So Woodhaven will be taking on Macomb, Dakota, and Novi will be taking on Matawan. What are your thoughts on these matchups? It's been crazy in Division 1.
It really has, and I think the winner of this division is going to come down to Woodhaven and Novi in the championships. Woodhaven finished behind Allen Park this year. They were second in the league. They lost to Allen Park twice, but they beat them when it counted. I know one thing for sure, Coach Farner will have Woodhaven ready. They have an excellent coaching staff. He's been with Tony Brinson, who's been with them since his days at John F. Kennedy High School when they revived that program. And I think the Woodhaven staff is really good at coaching to their talent. So if they have thumpers, they'll win with the long ball. If they have pitching, they win that way. I think this year they have, besides Langlos, who's going to Wayne State, they have a lot of guys that hit the ball, make good contact. They have decent pitching. Guys can get on base for them. So Farner's not afraid to squeeze in a run if he has to, you know, doing whatever it takes to win. As far as Novi, this is a team nobody wants to play right now.
Yeah.
I mean, they started the playoffs red hot. They beat their league rival, Northville, who was ranked #1 basically the entire year in Division I. They're sky high. They're battle tested from playing a lot of good, solid teams in non-league games. They played Saline. They played Heartland. They played Brighton, things like that. Coach Rick Green, the Wildcats are due. They won their first regional title since 2000 this year, and this is their first trip to the semis since 1973. So I think this one's going to be a tight game, but I think the boys from Downriver, Coach Farner and his Warriors, come out on top in this one.
Yeah, and how important is it to just be at the end of your season and still be moving onward and upward? I mean, how important is that?
Yeah, you know, everybody just wants to keep playing, and what you do is you just take it one game at a time. So once you get into the playoffs, like we always say, anything can happen. For example, Novi, you know, they had a mediocre season. They beat their crosstown rival. They're red hot right now, so they've just been winning one at a time. They got to the end. Woodhaven's at the end. They didn't have their best season, so, you know, we're going to see who comes out of this, and I think it's going to be Woodhaven. I think Woodhaven's going to win it in D1 this year.
We're going to take a quick timeout and toss it to Lauren Plant with the last in the dugout of the 2023 season.
What's going to be the difference to propel a Matawan team to its first ever state final?
I mean, for us, I think it just boils down to execution. I think that it's a very good matchup for us. I think that we're similar in a lot of ways. We rely a lot on our pitching. We've got, you know, they've got 3-4 guys that they'll probably be able to throw tomorrow, and we've got 3 or 4 guys that we could also throw tomorrow. So I think it's going to be more of a pitching duel for us. And but like I said, offensively they're performing really well, and offensively we're performing pretty well, and we're able to execute. And like I said, I've coached against Rick for a number of years, and so I know they're going to be really well coached, and Rick does a great job over there. And you know, we're going to go out and do our best. And like I said, I think we match up really well, and I'm excited to see, you know, whoever they throw against us, and then, you know, obviously who we're throwing against them. I think they match up pretty well. And like I said, our kids believe right now, and I believe in them, and so it shouldn't be anything different than that going out tomorrow.
Check out that full interview, just head on over to the State Champs YouTube page. All you need to do is search State Champs Net. All right, well, Mark, we wanted to thank you so much for being an outstanding baseball analyst all season. I had so much fun with you, and Extra Innings has just been a great show so far, and I've enjoyed it with you.
I agree. I mean, I've had a great time doing this. I had a great time working with you and the staff. Good luck to all the teams this week at Michigan State. And you know, it was just so much fun to cover all these different teams throughout the season. I just had a ball. So.
Oh yeah, we're really looking forward to all of the winners this weekend. We can't wait to see who comes out on top. For Mark, I'm Elizabeth, and we'll see you next season for Extra Innings. State Champs Extra Innings is presented by Lawrence Technological University. Be curious. Make magic. Visit ltu.edu. Extra Innings is also brought to you by the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. The Michigan Army National Guard, a proud sponsor of the MHSAA. The Michigan High School Baseball Coaches Association. For information on awards, clinics, rankings, and this year's All-Star Games, visit mhsbca.org. The Detroit Athletic Club Foundation Male and Female Athlete of the Year Awards.